Ciao ragazzi! In this video you will be introduced to the past tense, the passato prossimo, and learn to form past participles. Look at this timeline. Here we have the present and some examples of present tense verbs in English. I study, you listen, he sleeps. If we move into the past, our verbs obviously change. I studied, you listened, he slept. You'll notice that often in English we form the past tense by adding ed to the verb, as in studied and listened. However, as always, there are exceptions. Sleeps becomes slept rather than sleeped. You will need to keep this in mind later on. So now we have the same timeline in Italian. Our present tense verbs, io studio, tu ascolti, and lui dorme. In the past, these verbs become io ho studiato, tu hai ascoltato, and lui ha dormito. As you can see, the passato prossimo has two parts. To contrast the two tenses, the present tense in Italian is a one-word tense. We have a verb stem, the beginning of the verb, and then we attach the appropriate ending. For example, parlare, the stem is parl, then we add o, and we have the present tense parlo, I speak. The past tense in Italian, the passato prossimo, is a compound tense. It's made up of two words. The first part is known as the auxiliary verb or the helping verb, and then we follow that with the past participle, the past version of the main verb. For example, ho parlato. I spoke or I have spoken. So let's look more closely at how we form these past participles. You know that there are three groups of regular verbs in Italian. Those ending in are, ere, and ire. To change these verbs into their past tense forms, we simply replace the last three letters. So are verbs become ato. For example, imparare, to learn, becomes imparato. Viaggiare, to travel, becomes viaggiato. And mangiare, to eat, becomes mangiato. Ere verbs change to uto. So, potere, to be able to, changes to potuto. Credere, to believe, changes to creduto. And battere, to beat, battuto. Ire verbs change to ito. So, finire, to finish, becomes finito. Preferire, to prefer, preferito. And sentire, to feel or to hear, becomes sentito. So, are ato, ere uto, ire ito. As you know, while most verbs follow these patterns, there are always some exceptions, some irregular verbs. Here are some of the most common irregular past participles. mettere, to put, becomes messo. Leggere, to read, becomes letto. Scrivere, to write, scritto in the past. Perdere, to lose, becomes perso. Prendere, to take or to get, becomes preso. Vincere, to win, vinto. And vedere, to see, visto. In summary, the passato prossimo is a two-word tense that is comprised of an auxiliary or helping verb and a past participle, which is the past version of the main verb. Most past participles work in the following ways. Are verbs change to ato, ere verbs change to uto, and ire verbs change to ito. There are some verbs with an irregular past participle, and these need to be memorized. Continue to practice forming past participles and try to learn some of the irregulars before moving on to part 2 of this video. Arrivederci e buon lavoro.